Hey everybody, and welcome to our video tutorial on how to manage your WordPress website with Divi. Divi is a page building software that we use on many of our client sites that makes it easy to make changes to the site and change the content. Today we'll be using our Sandbox site that is currently using the coffeehouse template as an example to show you how everything works. So, first thing that we need to do is log into the back end of the website. And we do this by going up to the address bar here and typing wp-admin behind the backslash. Hit enter, and this will take you to the login screen. Now we already have our login pre-saved, so we'll select that here, but you'll enter your username and password and then click login. So the first page that you'll be brought to once you log in is the dashboard. This gives you a little snapshot of what's going on with your site. You can see that we have a health status window here. This at a glance window shows us how many posts and pages we have, the version of WordPress and the theme that we're running, as well as some news and events published by WordPress. Now, the next thing that we want to look at is this left-hand sidebar menu, and we want to click on this updates button. We can see that we have this orange circle here with the 1 in there indicating that we have one update to make on the website. So let's go here, and then we can see we have our version of WordPress here. No updates to make to the WordPress version. We have our plugins, no updates to make here. At the bottom we have our themes, and we see that we do have an update to make here for our theme. Now, when making updates, let's say we have all 3 plugins, the WordPress version and our themes, the best order to go about making these updates is to update the plugins first, then the themes, then your WordPress version. This is generally the safest way to update the site to ensure that we don't have anything break on the front end. So let's go ahead and update our theme by clicking this checkbox here and then clicking the Update Themes button. And our update is complete. So we still have this icon here, but if we go back to the updates page to refresh it, we will see that that icon is gone. So that means we have no more updates to make. So the next thing to cover will be posts. Now the post page is where all of your blog posts are stored. So you can see that we currently have one blog post here saved as a draft. You can also see the author of the post, the category to which it belongs. If we had any tags, these would appear here, and any comments as well would appear here. And then lastly, we can see the date that it was last modified. So let's start off by adding a new post by clicking the Add New button up here. So the first thing you'll want to enter is your post title. Clicking off of that, we'll see that our permalink was created. So this is the URL that your blog post will appear on. And then following down, we can see that we have this purple Use the Divi Builder button. We're not going to use this for posts, so we'll just skip that. And then we have our text editor. So this works just like any other WordPress word processor that you've used before. We can start typing text here, and we can modify it by bolding or italicizing text. We can create bullets and lists, align the text left, center, or right. We can also add a link by clicking this and typing in a URL here. We'll just do pound as an example, apply. We'll see that this text now appears blue because it's hyperlinked. You can break that link by clicking this or edit it by clicking the pen icon. Then we can also modify this text by changing it to a heading. So we can do that by clicking this drop-down menu. And we have all these headings to pick from. Now you don't want to pick heading 1 because the post title is already using the heading 1, and you don't want to have 2 heading 1s on one page. So, but you can use as many heading 2s, 3s, or 4s, or 5s, or 6s, as many as you like. So let's change this to a heading 2. Now you can see it's a little bit bigger. If we hit return, we'll be back to paragraph text. And so then you can create your post just by typing in here. Now we can also add images to our posts, and we can do that by clicking on the Add Media button. And this will open up our media library. And to select an image, we'll just pick this one here. We'll see that we have the file name, the date it was uploaded, the size, dimensions. You can also edit the image if you'd like, or delete it. We can add alt text, we can add titles, captions, and descriptions. And then we can also align the image either to the center or to the right, or none at all. And then we can also link the image if we want to have the image linked to the media file, so the image file itself. It will open a new tab and show that image in full resolution, or we can have it go to a custom URL. So if you want your image to link to another post, say, you can enter that post URL here. Let's turn this off for now, and then we can select the size as well. So full size, we have a large version, medium, or a thumbnail version. So we'll stick with the full size here. Once you have got all your settings set, we can click the Insert into Post button here. And now we see our image appears right here. Now let's say that we want to add an image that is not currently in our library. Well, we can click on this Add Media button again, and we can go to the Upload Files tab. And then we can go to Select Files, and let's just pick this image we have saved here. We can open, and now that image has been uploaded to the library, and we can insert it into the post, and there it appears. Now you can also click on your images, you can change the alignment, you can also do some editing as well. You can do a custom size if you'd like. Yeah, so let's exit out of this, and let's go over to the right hand side here. So we can skip over the Divi page settings since we'll have a template set up, and anything that's set here will be overridden. And we can go down to the publish window here. So if you're writing your post and you're not quite ready for it to be published on the site, we can hit the Save Draft button, and that will save the post for you on the website. We'll do that now. So now this has been saved as a draft. We can preview the post to see what it's going to look like on the front end, and we can do that now here. So you can see we have our title, we got our information about the post, who wrote it, the date, our text, our 2 images that we added. Let's close out of this. And then this tells you whether the current status of the post, whether it's a draft, it's published. And visibility, this shows that it is a publicly viewed, so anyone can view the post. And then you can also schedule the post to be published on a specific date if you'd like to do that as well. Clicking edit, and then you can select the date that you'd like it to be published. If you want to delete the post, you can move to trash. Otherwise, if you're ready to publish, the publish button. And now it is live. So once it's been published, this publish button will change to an update button, and that allows you to go back into the post and make as many changes as you'd like, and click update to save those changes and push them live. Format, we don't have to worry about this. Then categories, if you want to categorize your posts, currently we just have 2 here, we can add a new category. We'll call this general. And then you can do parent categories as well if you want to further categorize your posts. But we'll just keep that there for now, and we'll add new category. So now we can see we have our general added, and you can categorize your posts to have as many categories as you'd like. Moving on down, tags. If you'd like to tag certain topics that the post covers, you can do that here. Just separate each topic by a comma. And then for a featured image, we can set one. We'll just select this one here. And this is the image that's going to appear at the very top of the post. So let's click update to save that featured image. And then we can either preview the post or we can view the post. We'll do this by opening this in a new tab. And now you can see we're at the post's URL. We have our title, we got our featured image here, we got our texts, we got our images. Okay. And that concludes posts. So we can just go over the categories link here. This just shows you all the categories you have listed. You can delete those categories or rename them if you'd like. Same thing goes for tags. Currently don't have any tags here. But the next thing we're going to move on to is the media library. So the media library is where all of your media is stored, typically images. It looks very similar to the layout that we saw when we clicked the Add Media button in our posts. But we can change that layout. This is currently set to a grid. We can also change this to a list. You can see that we have our images laid out a little bit differently here. You can see who uploaded the image, where the image has been uploaded. We can see our post that we created. These 2 images appear in that post, so it shows that here. And then when it was uploaded shortly, a little bit ago. So let's move back over to our grid view so we get a better view of the images. And if we select one of our images here, we have that information that we saw when we clicked that Add Media button. Same information here as well. We can delete the post, or we can edit the image. Let's go into this to see what kind of editing options we have. So we have a crop feature. So if you want to, say, reduce some of the space over here on the left hand side, you can click and hold and drag this box around. And let's move this up a little bit. Let's just crop a little bit of this out. So once you got your image aligned properly, click the crop button and you'll see now that portion has been cropped out. And then you can save that if you'd like, or you can cancel if you didn't quite crop it correctly. You can also undo anything by clicking the undo button. It's going to take us back to our original image. We can rotate the image, we can flip it, just some basic editing tools here. And we can also scale the image down, make it smaller if we'd like. This is measured in pixels. So if we say we want it to be 100 pixels, it will edit this dimension automatically so that this stays in the same dimensions. We can click scale, and that just shrunk it down a little bit. And if you want to reverse that, you can go to restore original image, restore that, and that's going to take all the edits you made to the image away, and it's going to be exactly how it was when you originally uploaded it. So let's exit out of here. If you want to add a new image to your media library, you can click the Add New button here. And so take this little drop down, and we will select File, and we can upload a new image very similarly to when we did with our post. All right, then we have our image, new image right there. You can see it. And we can delete it if we want as well. Hit OK. And now the image is deleted. And that's all you need to know about managing your media. Okay, so the next thing we're going to talk about is our pages. So as you can see, we have our pages listed out here, very similarly to the posts. And let's go into one of these pages to see what they look like. So already we can see that we have the Divi builder enabled, and this gives this a very different layout. So this looks a little confusing at first, but we're going to click on this button, build on the front end, to give this a little more of a visual view. Okay, so now we are in the visual builder, and this allows us to make changes while looking at what's on the front end of our pages. So much easier. So let's go into the settings for this set of text here in this button. So we do that by clicking this gray gear icon here, the module settings. And we'll shrink this down a little bit so we can see our title. So we can see that we have our title here, Coffee House, later out right here, the subtitle right here, and then the text for our button right here. So let's say we want to change the text for this button. Let's call this Coffees. So then if we want to add some additional text, say to the body, we can add more text here. So as you can see, this pops up right beneath the subtitle. And say we want to save these changes, we would click this green or a check box here. If we wanted to undo something, we can click this purple undo button. That will get rid of that text we just entered. If we want to put it back, hit that blue one. And then if we don't want to save any of our changes, we can click this red X here. So let's save our changes, and there we go. We can do another example here, moving on down. To give you a little better understanding of how this page is organized, we have our blue section, which is called a section. We have our green row, and then we have our gray modules, and the modules are where your content is. So these are the things that you're going to want to be editing when making changes to the text to your site. We can also change out images. So if we want to change out the image for this Best Beans blurb here, we can click the images and icon window, and we see that this is the current image we have used. And we can click on the image, and this will open our media library, and we can add a different image. So any image will do here. We can just make it a picture of beans if we'd like. So now that image is in there, and this is taken away from the formatting, so let's just close this X button here, and that bean icon is back there now. So that's how you change your text and your images, which is going to be the most of the changes you're going to need to make. Once you're all finished making those changes, we can click on this purple 3 dots here, and this will open up this menu. And to save all of your changes, you go over here and click the save button. And now we are saved. So once you're finished, we can exit the visual builder by clicking this button up top. And now we are outside the visual builder, and we're just viewing our website as it is, but we're still logged in. So as we can see, that save changed there, or that change was saved. The button's now Coffees. And we can go back into the back end of this page by clicking the edit page button. And now we're back. So you can edit content without going into the Visual Builder if you'd like. If you know exactly where the content is that you want to change. So go back to this blurb that we edited. Best beans. You can edit the text here, so it works very similarly. And you can click your green check mark to make your change. But once you're finished, you just click this update button, and that is going to save all your changes. So let's hop back over to our Visual Builder just to go over a couple more things. All right, let's scroll down to our best coffee shop section here. So to go over some more of these icons here, this arrows icon allows you to grab and move modules around. This one we covered was the edit. This will duplicate a module like so. If you want to delete a module, you hit this trash can icon. And then this is used to save particular modules or rows or whole sections to the Divi library if you have something that you use a lot and need it to appear on multiple pages. You can easily upload it there. These are for more advanced settings. So if you ever accidentally delete a module or a whole row or section, say we accidentally click this and all this is gone, we can disregard that just by reloading the page. Click leave page. And because we didn't save any of our changes, we click do not restore here. And we have our row back there. So just make sure you don't save any of those changes, and you'll be okay. Then the last thing that I want to point out is on the various design settings that are in the modules. So I'm not going to cover any of this because it's a little more advanced and outside the scope of the video. But if you click on this design tab, you can see that there's a lot of different design changes that can be made to just this one module. So you can edit the text size, you can change the font, you can change the color, all kinds of things. So like I said, we're not going to cover any of this, but it's just good to be aware that those are where these settings are. Okay, so let's return to the back end of our site by clicking the site title here. And this brings us back to our dashboard. So if we continue on, below pages we have comments. So currently we don't have any comments on this site, but if you do have comments enabled on your blog post, say, they will appear here, and you'll see the person who, the name that they entered for their comment, the content of the comment, and then you can reply to the comment, you can approve the comment. If it's a spam comment, you can mark it as spam, or if it's just a comment that you don't want to have appear on your site, you can delete it and put it in the trash. That's all it really is with comments. So moving on to projects. If you have a portfolio on your website, and you have various projects in there, we would put the individual projects on this section. So this would work exactly like how pages work. You could use the builder and make your edits there. So moving on down to appearances. Most of these are a little more complex. I won't be covering any of these, but we will cover the menus. So the menus, this is where your header navigation menu is stored. So if we just pop over to the front end of the site, we can see that we have About Us, Coffees with the drop down of Regular, Events, and Contact Us. If we go back over to the back end, we can see those items listed out here. So if you wanted to make this text link different, you can go in here and you can edit the name. You can remove the link if you'd like, and if you made any changes that you don't want to have saved, you just hit cancel, and that will cancel out any changes you have made. So once you're finished editing your menu, you can hit Save Menu, and let's do an example here. So let's change this just to say, instead of About Us, we just want it to say About. All right, this, save the menu, and pop over to our front end, and we will refresh. Currently we still have the About Us. If we refresh, now it just says About. Okay. Moving on down, we have plugins. So plugins are used for a lot of different reasons, and they're used to make various customizations and add features to the site. Currently we just have this one plugin here. But if there are any updates that need to be made to a plugin, you can make those updates here. I have a link that you can click to update it. You can also deactivate plugins, you can delete plugins, you can add new ones as well, and there are a bunch of plugins. It's good to know what you're looking for, so unless that's the case, we'd recommend just not adding any plugins to the site. Next we have users. So users, these are the users that are allowed to log into the back end of the website. As you can see, we just have one here, but if you want to add a user, click this Add New button. And all it takes for user is a username, an email address, and then it will automatically produce a password, but you don't have to worry about this because once you want to add the user, it will send the person an email with instructions for logging in, and they can set their own password. The role, if you want the person to have full access to everything on the site, you would have them be an administrator. If you want them to be able to edit your content, you can make them an editor. And then if you just want them to be able to produce new content, say blog posts, they can be an author or a contributor. And then a subscriber just allows them to view things. They don't actually get to make any changes to the site. So these remaining items here, the tools, settings, and the Divi menu, you don't need to worry about. This is for more advanced use cases. So the last thing that we're going to show you is logging out of the back end of your site. So to do that, you go up to the top right corner here by your username and click Log Out. And this will bring you back to the login screen. And if you want to go back to the front end of the site, click on this link here. It shows the site title. And now you're back on the home page. So thanks for watching, and let us know if you have any questions.